They've already picked the Theramis, Fossa. There is still a Diggy open to mitigate all of that CC coming from Revival, but
That's true.
if you do pick that, the draft becomes a little bit squishy.
Yes.
So that's a huge risk. Do they want to take that? In the meantime, Revival has locked in the Farsa. So
Whoa.
this is very scary.
Very busty.
Not only do they have huge CC potential in the team fights, they have damage, burst damage output coming from Clint, coming from Farsa as well. So whatever else the last pick is going to be is just, like you said, the cherry on top.
I mean, Diggy would be great right here, Scrubby. You know, I would agree that Diggy would be great, but that's gonna force into a what? Oh, it's a Yuzong off lane. No. Yuzong is not gonna go into the jungle. Don't make me wrong. Don't make me wrong here, Nash. Yuzong is not going into the jungle. I mean, he does have very good sustainability from the Shah residue.
Yeah, no.
Super good, super strong, but I don't think he'll do well inside the jungle. I think Paquito will be great because you have better mobility, you know, you have dash skills, you have high cooldown, you have high resets, but they're gonna go for the Julian? Okay, so it's gonna be a Julian mid, a Faramis on the support, Yuzong in the EXP, and then... Huh? Yeah.
So it is a Fossa Faramir.
Yeah, it is a Force of Faramis.
Wow.
Wait, or is he gonna use Julian? No. I'm just speculating here, guys. But Revival gonna be on their last pick right now. Revival look like a very high bursty comp. Very good. I would say it's a one-time thing, you know. But once they run out and everyone is gonna be on cooldown, it's gonna be hard for Revival. You have squishies like the Clint, the Vasa, but you do have Wings by Wings. You do have the second skill of Clint just to get away out of harm's way. And Peace has a insane positioning. We have seen yesterday how he was positioned, and just to top it all off, a Esmeralda to dive right in with the Falling Star Moon. And wow, the draft is very 50-50 for me, but Snowball goes towards Stellark right now, in my opinion, right? Stellark Snowball looks very much more, I would say, more prominent.
Well, it's very contingent though, right? It's contingent on Smellycat being able to keep up in the lane, outpoke Peace potentially, and also Odia Bambi getting ahead in the jungle, because otherwise, if you don't get these two key people up, then you're relying a lot on Fossa and Sing to be able to pull off those, you know, CCs, the enhanced chains, or the Shadow Stampedes to get a team fight.
Alright, and we're gonna go into game number 1, guys. Take it away.
So we got Stellark Revival, match 1, game 1. We've seen the draft. We understand what's going on. Faramis, #1 ban. We know the amount of power that he has at the Cult Altar and just game-changing team fighting ability that you have. Then you have the other side, which is the #1 pick in Esmeralda. Just the amount of pressure that's provided in the space created in terms of split pushing. You have so much work that's going on. But if we're going to go into this match, first one of the day, of course, elimination match, best of 3, Stellark Revival. Scrubby, you're looking at the draft. Which one are you leaning towards?
I mean, I feel like Revival's draft is a little more straightforward and easier to pull off, right? Save for that Jawhead jungle, but I think that probably works as well. And it's just going to look difficult, I think, for Stellark to be able to get around this, to be able to dive into the backline and find Swolt, find Peace when there's so much CC and peel available from LY4, QDX Love, and Ryan. So I think it's looking really scary at this point, but looking across the map now, a lot of mid-pressure at the moment, so all grouped up here, and the junglers just trying to get their farm on point.
Yeah, so let me go a little bit. I mean, you said you like the Revival draft. In my opinion, this Stellark draft is actually quite simple. They're just going to run at you, they've got the Cult Altar, and they're just going to blow you up. Yeah, you have the burst, but the Cult Altar should mitigate most of that damage, or that's at least what I'm thinking. I'm actually liking this as a favorite going into game 1 for Stellark.
Like high risk, high return.
Yeah,
right?
high risk, high return. I think that it's, you know, as long as they're holding hands and just singing Kumbaya and running in together, I think they're going to have a good time.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Yuzong pick on Chu as well, he could easily dive in and try to find Swolt in the backline. So that definitely gives them an edge in terms of trying to split up the team of Revival and disengage the team fights, potentially. Looking at the emblems here, it's actually Jawhead with the killing spree. The same here as Odia Bambi on the Paquito. So they're looking for kills here. I'm surprised it wasn't Demon Slayer emblem.
Yeah, there you go. You got the change. You blow them up. That's the talking about, right? At a moment's notice, if people are off the map, you got to understand where they could be. And Stellark right there, capitalizing on that one, getting first blood.
not just that, Swole on the top side getting damaged so much, and look at his health, forced to back up there. So Turtle advantage definitely going the way of Stellark. It doesn't look like Revival's in any space to contest.
Perfect 2 minutes and 30 seconds already for Stellark, right? They've got the first blood, they've got the turtle, they have almost what they need. They've got the XP lead, the net worth. I mean, it's still 0.6 or whatever, but it's still kind of, you know, within the realm of them being in the driver's seat already. Yes, it is a bit early, but let's see what happens here as Fossa looks to go in. They do get the change. Swirl's going to back off all the feathered airstrike. That's going to be used, but the Cult Altar is going to mitigate most of that, but it looks like Stink is going to go down, and that looks to be a little bit of an the overextension.
Yeah, and you have to be careful of those hooks from QTX Love, right? Because you try to disengage, they could easily just pull you back in, and it's harder for Stellark to come out of that. So, I mean, good trades across the board. Right now, it's 1-1, very even.
Yeah, very even. I mean, it was one of those moments where, okay, they're starting to feel it. Maybe we have that opportunity to get somebody, but it was just a little too close to their turret, and Revival were like all over that. They'll take that one. But mind you, we both look at these teams as Stellark and Revival as very balanced teams. Like, nobody's just like hyper aggressive. Nobody is, they'll take what they can get, right, pretty much. But in this case, I think Revival were happy to get that gift wrap, so to speak.
I mean, there's something interesting that I missed earlier on as well, that Fossa is actually using the Everest emblem. I think usually, from what I recall, they use more of, mage-ish items, but the fact that he's going for a roam, he really wants to get something up, and using the Purify as well as the battle spell will enable him to get out of sticky situations to still be able to provide that Cult Altar, that peel for their teammates. So very crucial here for Fossa to be able to be kept alive.
Yes, definitely. He's going to be number one, right? I mean, he needs to be targeted, force out the Cult Altar, maybe a little early. Maybe you look to just disengage, try to get yourself alive. But Peace, he's going to dash to safety. He should be fine. But this is going to put a lot of pressure in that bottom lane. Look at the armor just going down. Smelly Cat, Odir Bambi just doing some work on that armor.
Forcing Stellark to back into their tower. They're trying to set up for the turtle on the top side. So you can see now both teams slowly rotating to that objective. Odir Bambi does have to clear out his jungle a little bit first though. So Revival, it looks like they have got a slight advantage here in terms of trying to prioritize that.
Definitely. And Revival have done a good job understanding wave management, right? You push it out. Now the turtle is open. They're going to try to get there. They have 4 members of Revival sticking around. Nice change. That's under Ryan. He's going to shield himself. He should be fine. But again, this dance will continue.
Ryan just trying to zone out the members. Oh,
Fossa, Mike over this one. He does have the Cult Altar. That's going to be used. And Odir Bambi will secure the turtle. QTX Love is going to be next on the list. Smelly Cat will take him out. Stink is now on the run. He's on the wrong side, not realizing where he was, and Swirl will secure that kill.
I felt like a little, I don't know, like they tried to go, that's the divey composition.
Yes.
That is what they were supposed to do, right? Unfortunately, it didn't quite seem to work out there. And Sync, I think, a little too deep nowhere for him to possibly be able to get out that situation. Now he's 0-2-1, so it's not a good picture at the moment.
Yeah, they're having a bit of a rough time just getting themselves settled right here. Ruby right now is, in the league was about 25% win rate. It is not a great hero. It's not going to guarantee you anything. So it's one of those things where even when they picked it in the draft, I was kind of like suspicious of what they were trying to do.
That being said, though, just looking at that slight gold advantage, it's still in the favor of Stellark. And if we're looking at the EXP, Odir Bambi is ahead of LY4 as well. So in terms of being able to, dive someone, burst them down quickly, gank them in their lane, Stellark does still have that kill potential.
Yeah, and okay, let's talk a little bit more about the Admirals. Sorry, Scrubby, how about you walk us through some of the ones that kind of stick out to you a little bit?
Well, we were talking about Odir Bambi. He does already have that 100 strike, so he will be able to get those kills, still that movement speed to be able to rotate around quickly. And comparing the two marksmen, they both have that defensive item. It's a trend nowadays that you're picking the steel leg plates as one of your initial items, but you don't complete that because just the steel leg plates alone, it's very economical, and you get a lot of physical defense just off of that. On top of that, Peace already getting the Endless Battle and Smelly Cat with the Windtalker. So going to be able to increase that attack speed. And you can see it's pretty balanced across this gold lane.
Yeah. Definitely, it's going to help them out. They got to just kind of sustain. I think it's not all about the burst. It's more about the sustaining part. I think both of these teams realize how the team fights will play out. But let me talk a little bit more about Revival here. LY4, whenever I see their team win, and win dominantly, it's because LY4 has an amazing game. Yes, he's 0-0-1, but I haven't felt the pressure and the impact of what LY4 goes for. But as I say that, Chu decides to go in. Nice two-man knock off the feathered airstrike. That's going to be used. LY4 is going to be on the run. He's going to get to safety. He is very tanky. QDX Love, though, is going to be targeted here. The Black Dragon form is going to be used. Everybody disengages.
So good. The positioning there by Swolt on point, but the thing is, the Cult Altar just mitigates so much.
Yeah.
As much as, yes, there's a lot of, skills, CCs that Revival can pop. If you don't bait out these skills, it will just fall into the hands of Fossa, everything gets resetted, and they have to back off.
Right. And Stellar committed most of their ults on that one. So that was a little odd where, they had 4 members going for that turtle, and that was the easiest turtle of Stellar's game right now. I mean, it was just so simple. They've gotten 3-0 in that sense. But Revival were just like, hey, we're going to give this up. We're going to play for the late game. We're going to figure out a way to get back into this one as we're down about 1.5K, which is a little worrying at the 8-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, the late game does go to Stellar, right? So it's even worse. Like, it exacerbates it because Stellar has a gold lead, and that's not where you want to be. Well, I don't know. Right now, with, at least a minute up on this next objective, the two teams do have some space to make something happen. Revival grouping around the mid.
Yeah, and there's nobody else in the top or bottom lane. You could see this because the minion waves have crashed. So that you know that Revival are going to be somewhere in the mid lane. And everybody in Stellar was like, okay, we're going to play it safe. And all 5 members of Revival were sticking together. Now, if we're looking at the other lanes, they've provided pressure in both the top and the bottom, and it looks like they've gotten the bottom turret.
This is where they start to shine, right? You get ahead in the early game, you start to group up, and then now Stellar are looking at taking objective. They've already gotten that tier 1 turret on the bottom, so they're rotating towards the mid side. And now, don't know if they want to make things happen, but the top lane is being pushed in by Riot.
Okay, my only concern is that Stellar, yes, they have about a 1.5K net worth lead, but it's not to overextend, not to force team fights in any sort of issue. Because if you go into the team fight, it's pretty much a 50-50, especially if you're under the enemy tower. You got to be super careful with how you proceed. But as I say that, Pete gets to safety. Odir Bambi all by himself, trying to isolate onto, Odir Bambi in that case. I mean, just by himself, completely out of position.
I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure what the play was there, but it's definitely untimely because they need Odir Bambi for this fight at Lord.
Yeah, and this is going to be the first Lord, right? A little bit of mistime. I mean, unfortunate. It's another 10 more seconds before Julian is back up, but the Lord is going to be gone on. Black Dragon form is going to be used to kind of scout things out, but it's slowly getting whittled away. Revival right now, they don't have the okay, there we go. Started about 0.25%. It's going to do some damage. Who gets a steal? And it looks like LY4 will secure that one. He's got the fast fingers, and LY4 now on the run. Chu is getting low as well. Fossa is now going to just try to get to safety. Can he survive? I don't really know. One more shot. He does barely. No, Ryan will say nay to that. He will secure that kill. QDX Lev is killed on the backside of that one, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1. But mind you, nice 2-man chain. Ryan stays barely alive. Sink getting caught out as well. LY4, just the Jawhead plays are just on another level, and Odir Bambi will fall again.
And now, Revival, they have a free ticket to take down this mid lane turret, and together with that, the top lane's also crashing down the Lord. So they get so much out of that fight. I think Stellar, they went in, tried to contest the Lord. It seemed a little bit early, then they tried to disengage. Once Odir Bambi was up, they went back in for the kills, and then it just went back and forth from there.
It went back and forth, but Odir Bambi, if he did not die, I mean, made that one mistake, they would have been in a much better position to contest. They had an advantage, and the fact that they lost it, now they were kind of fighting 4.5 because he wasn't in position. So it was kind of an awkward situation where they tried to go for the steal, they tried to do it, but then things kind of fell apart right there. And now you're seeing the reversal of fortune in the sense that Revival now have a lead.
This is what we talked about, right? Revival, they know it. They smell opportunities. So the moment they had that, they took full advantage of that, and they've cleared out almost all of Stellar's turrets as well. So this is huge map control going their way, but Stellar, they might try to make a play happen here.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to commit for this one, but it comes back to Revival being a veteran team, understanding what they need to do, how they get back in the game. Make sure that if they're going to take a fight, they're going to try to take it with even numbers or have a slight advantage. Understanding that, Odir Bambi was killed in that situation, it was a weird one, but now Stellar need to bounce back. They need to figure out a way to get back into this one because, again, the tables have turned.
I think in that last group, now it's about farming up again.
Yes.
Turtling up, getting as much as they can from this. And you can see Stellac, they're rotating almost as an entire team, if not more than 5. Looking across the items here, you can see already starting to build up here. And Peace, he has that BOD as well, so he's going to hurt, especially if he maintains his positioning, and not just that, Swirl as well with the Lightning Truncheon. So it feels like Stellar right now, they're relying a lot on that burst damage coming from Odia Bambi, as well as Smelly Cat slowly starting to farm up, already has the Demon Hunter sword. So if they can protect them in the backline and be able to get a good positioning to engage, maybe Stellac still can turn this around. We talked about how they have the later game advantage.
You have that way, and then you have another way. The other win condition right now, look at the KDA of Swirl. 3-0-3. The fact that, Swirl has just been able to just just do damage to everybody with Feathered Airstrike, just has, gotten 3 kills, the most on the team. If they can find a way, Stellark that is, if they can find a way to get onto Swirl and blow him up, they're going to have a much better chance. That is another win condition.
It's tough though, if you want to get to Swirl. I mean, Chu has an easy way to go in, right, dive into the backline, but for the rest of the team, it's a little bit more tough. Fossa has to land a number, multiple people shadow stampede or pull the front line away from them to be able to split up the team.
I never said it was going to be easy. Okay? I said it was
Simple,
a win
but not
condition.
easy.
Okay? No. That it's just one idea of how you can get it. Now you just need to figure out how to get this swirled here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Revival, they're already taking the high ground, starting up on this Lord top side, and Stellar, it's up to them now.
Yeah, they're going to be up top. They're going to try to get the flank, and they're going to look to see this. Fossa's going to be the first one up. Does anyone, take the bait in that sense? But about half-life of that Lord, this is going to be super careful. They got to be very, very careful in how they proceed here. This waltz is going to continue. LY4 just not doing any damage, just taking it, but just making sure that the Lord isn't resetting or getting any sort of regen at this point.
They're pulling this out so slowly, but
they're gonna
Fossa
go.
looks like he wants to go in.
Okay, they're going to get the positioning. The Feathered Airstrike called Altars. That's going to be used. The Lord, but Smelly Cat will secure that one, and that's going to be a win. The Black Dragon form, and they're continuing on. Chu trying to find a draw beat. Fossa getting low. Fossa will be blown up. Peace will secure that one. Ryan is on the run, trying to chase out what he can. Sink is going to go down. Smelly Cat as well, and I don't know. That might have been a disaster with 4 dead on Stellark.
4 dead is definitely a disaster. That's not something you want happening. I think Stellar tried to make the play there, going up, clearing that top wave to try to set up for the Lord as much as possible, but it didn't split the fight that they wanted, and now Chu, he goes down as well. It looks like it's the end of game number 1 here as Revival, they take the victory in their hands.
Okay, I don't think that there was going to be much of a chance there going on 1 versus 4. So that's kind of, it was a situation where the team had already lost. You lost 4 members. Very difficult situation, even though you got the Lord. So very well played by Revival getting themselves into this one. But hey, let's bring back Vertigo. Get your thoughts on this first game.
Nice to be back, guys. That was an unexpectedly fast game. Honestly, I thought it was going to go to a Stellark, right? I'm looking at the stats. What I saw right there, Peace was so far behind, right? Peace only had an Endless Battle, while Smelly Cat had a Windtalker and a Scarlet Phantom. So that's 1 full item ahead. And then, Stellark, they've been constantly ganking, as you can see on the screen. Bambi is like, hey, we've been ganking. It's a 50-50 non-stop, Stellark have been ganking very well, and then Revival just found a way to snap